Oh boy. Larry Wheels has gained 53 pounds post-show. That's mad. And I'm only saying this because I literally just recently finished competing. I finished my season. So yeah, it's just wild. 53 pounds, that's 24 kilos. 24 kilos in 5 days. Insane. I'm just having my pre-workout meal, but I did actually want to talk about this. That is a wild amount of weight to gain in such a short period of time. I'm not surprised though that Larry Wheels has done that. It wouldn't surprise me if Larry Wheels had competed just to then go through that post-show rebound to then make some content. It just wouldn't surprise me at all. I saw a comment on the post that he made. He's actually deleted the post now. It was from Brett Wilkin, and he asked, I want to see the blood pressure reading. And it's true. His blood pressure must be through the roof. And that would be so uncomfortable. In my previous video, I was talking about how I gained 6 kilos in a weekend, and I felt horrible. I felt horrible. And that's partly the reason why post-show, that just won't ever happen to me again post-show, because of the way that you feel. You feel absolutely terrible. I don't know how he's even walking right now. The amount of water retention, he's got edema in his legs. His stomach is like all the way out here. He looks pregnant. He's just puffy everywhere. And also what's interesting is probably the way that he had to diet down didn't help the situation. I think he didn't have a very long period of time to meet his weight cap, which was 232 pounds. I think he started his prep at 270, had to get down to 232 pounds. I think it was within like 6 weeks or something, like 5 or 6 weeks, which means that the diet is going to be brutal, and they're going to be using techniques like a sauna and manipulating a lot of water to get rid of a lot of the water weight as well. And that's going to suck. It's going to put you in a very deep hole. Setting up your start point and also making sure that you're ready early so you can actually eat up a little bit into your show helps massively. He was reading off what he was eating day by day, and it's like, this is multiple days of you eating like a fool. Like, this isn't just one day where you've binged and you're like, okay, I took the piss. Like, it's just multiple days and you're feeling awful. And I understand the drive to eat is high, but at some point throughout that fest of like over a period of days, you got to be like, this is a bit mad. Like when you're 20 pounds up and then you're 30 pounds up and you're thinking, I should probably reel this in now, you know. But yeah, don't do that. If you're post-show, have a coach and don't spend that long eating that much food, because that's dangerous. You can actually die. You could end up getting hospitalized. So, hey, anything for content though. This cream of rice is really good. Cream of rice, blueberries, whey. I got some rice cakes as well. Pre-legs today. See you in the gym. Oof. Oof. I'm up 11 pounds in a month, and even I can feel like little differences with my body now. Like I feel a little bit thicker in my neck, my legs feel a little bit thicker. I know that I'm holding a little bit more water. So how he feels, I don't know how he's even alive. Legs today, don't think I've shown you this session in quite a long time really, since I was on prep. So today we got the seated calf raise, done some stretches as well, but that's all boring. So we're at the adductor right now. We just got 2 sets, seated ham curl RDL, followed by leg extensions, Bulgarian split squats on a deficit, and a lat pull down as well. So, and on this one as well, I've said this before, but because I have to stack this machine, I'm trying to now make this as difficult as possible, because really I don't want to put more plates on this machine because it will just snap. I don't even like doing this because it's stupid really. Like, the machine was not made to hold on to more weight, you know what I mean? But the stack alone is just horribly light. I think somebody who doesn't even train could just come in here and just do that. So, one more set. And obviously exercise number 2 was a seated hamstring curl. And whenever I'm in a gym, if there's 2 options, if there's a seated ham curl and a lying ham curl, I'm always going to go seated, especially before I've got RDLs. I feel like on a lying hamstring curl, it has a tendency to flare up your lower back, which you don't want before you're doing something like a hinge. So I'd always just opt for something like a seated ham curl. No lower back pain, and also you have the opportunity to go into some form of hip flexion on that seated ham curl as well, which is essentially the same movement you're doing with a hinge. So I don't see why you would opt to do a lying hamstring curl. I guess if you enjoy it more, but yeah, so we've done 3 sets from there. I'm just gonna go on to my RDL just now. The main cues that I'm really thinking about when we do a seated hamstring curl is make sure that my knees are facing the ceiling, for one, just for the safety of my joints and joint health. Lean forward a touch, and having a seat belt as well helps just keep me stable and stay in that position. And that's basically it. And then just rinse every rep, just slow, negative, and that's about it. So done 3 sets on there, gonna do RDLs, just 2 sets. Yeah, that's about it. Good. Fucking hell. That's literally just a 2.5 total increase on last week. And I just bumped the weight up a little bit, but it's get the same reps. So 12, get 12 every time. And I also just done my top set of 180 and got 9. On the RDL as well, I almost use that top set as like a brute strength, move as much load as possible kind of set, which I get is a bit bro-y. And then the second set is like, take your time a bit more, put more emphasis on feel. And that works for me. So we are on to our final leg exercise, which is a Bulgarian split squat. Both of my leg days finished with this movement. One with dumbbells, one on a Smith, and this one has a deficit, just to get more of a stretch. Unless you can get your knee all the way to the ground on a Bulgarian split squat, I don't really see the point in having a deficit, because it's taking you out of that range of motion for yourself. Try and extend your range without the deficit first, and then use the block. I've got just a couple of sets from here, and then after this one, I've got a lat pull down, and that's just to top up some more back work, just to get me a little bit wider, more lat, more teres major, which is like in a front double bicep, that's a pretty big weakness for me, just having that width in the lats and the teres major. So, and this is the only place where we could tack that on. If I put that onto my pull day, my pull day would end up being like 4 hours long. So just at the end of this session, it doesn't have any impact on anything else. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna literally just finish the recording in the gym here, because I just want to get the session done, and I'll see you back at the flat. Okay, we are back from the gym, and I'm making my post-workout meal. I was just saying on my Instagram how when you get injured, it genuinely changes your mentality during like those big sets. Every time I do a set of RDLs now, I always just think your hamstring might go. An injury reminds you that you're not invincible, and I know that sounds stupid, but when you don't get injured, you just don't have that perspective on training. You just think you can just do anything. Well, I do anyway. And now I always just have that lingering thought of injury, and I warm up a lot more now, and I'm just taking smarter progressions in the gym, because I cannot afford to get injured. That is an injury is one of the worst things that can happen to a bodybuilder. It's like months of progression, down the drain, in my opinion. So yeah. Anyway, post-workout meal is going to be just 200 grams basically of red meat. I've just got mince and also some stir-fry strips, some steak. So that's 200 grams, and I've also got 150 grams of pasta. We got one hot cross bun and 30 grams of honey. It's going to be the post-workout meal, and then I'm going to have some oats before I go to bed. We've also got some pasta sauce as well to go with this meal. So this is going to be delicious. Yeah, we're still keeping these videos flying out. I'm so proud. Hey, I don't want to say much right now because I haven't done what I want to do yet, but I am glad that I'm proud of myself for actually sticking to my word, and my word has been 2 videos every single week. Has to happen. Has to fucking happen. One that, again, like, this is, I just don't like using these, like, fuck it. No, fuck it. A guy who I really like and really admire their content is Alex Hormozy, and I know first impressions, it's like, oh, it's just another one of these like business gurus and blah 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 and hustle culture and porn and whatnot, but some of his content genuinely is great, and the way that he puts it across, I think he's just a little bit different. But anyway, one of his quotes that I've heard him say before is like, whenever something feels really difficult and you get that feeling of like, I'm going to be burnt out, that's when most people stop. Most people stop at that point. Most people, like, when you're making content and you have that feeling of, I really can't be asked today, or I'm tired, or I don't want to talk in front of people, or whatever it is, or even if it's, let's take it to like fitness, like when things get really hard, you feel hungry, cravings are kicking in hard. Those moments are the moments that average people break under. They break. And I think if you want more in life, or you want to be great at whatever it is you're pursuing, say to yourself, when something is hard, this is when most people stop. This right here, this moment right here, is when 99% of people say that they're burnt out. They say they're burnt out, they can't do it anymore, they got to give themselves a little bit of a break, which is fine, but that's only going to give you balance. That's only going to give you the average result. And me personally, I don't want that. I don't want mediocrity. And that quote really, I need to add some sauce to this, really stood out to me. I approximate this, by the way, about half a jar, 200 grams, is about 100 calories. And I'm also going to add some green beans to this meal as well. But yeah, I'm not in the business of trying to be mediocre. And I think you can't do the actions of those who don't mind mediocrity. So yeah, that's a saying that's helped me a lot. And then also just giving myself, anyway, I'm not going to turn this into some bullshit hustle thing. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Watch one of the videos on the side. I'll see you next time.